On August 16th, the Weinstein Company is scheduled to release The Butler, starring Forrest Whitaker and Oprah Winfrey. But if Warner Brothers Studio has its way, the movie will be called something else. Executives say they own the name because it was the title of a short film that Warner Brothers released back in 1916. The Motion Picture Association of America agrees and sided with them in arbitration last week. But Harvey Weinstein will not stand down and is appealing the decision. Here's a look at the film they're fighting over.
Look at you. All puffed up. Your hat on your head. Coming in here, saying whatever you want. You need to go. What?
Get the hell out of my house! What are you doing? Get on out!
Cecil,
You gotta go.
Cecil, no.
I can't take this no more.
We ain't seen this boy. We ain't seen this boy.
I'm sorry.
Now everybody just sit
I'm
down.
sorry, Mr. Butler. I didn't mean to make fun of your hero.
Everything you are and everything you have is because of that butler.
And we welcome Harvey Weinstein back to Studio 57, along with his attorney, David Boies, who is in Washington. From London, we're joined by former Senator Christopher Dodd, the chairman and chief executive officer of the Motion Picture Association of America, and from Irvine, California, First Amendment attorney Floyd Abrams. Good morning. Welcome to all the lawyers.
Yes.
We know how important this is, given how many people are over this. Harvey, let's start with you. Warner Brothers say they own the rights to the title The Butler. They re-registered it as recently as 2010. Why are they wrong?
It's not that they're wrong. It's just a grace note would have just said, this is a movie about civil rights. 28 individual investors financed the movie, and 122 times in the history of movies, titles have been, used and repeated. And our understanding with them was that this was just going to be the simple process. It always is. Sandra Bullock and Melissa McCarthy have a movie out called Heat. Jason Statham is shooting a movie called Heat. Bob De Niro and Al Pacino made a movie called Heat, and 10 years before that, Burt Reynolds made a movie called Heat. These guys told us that they were going to do the normal thing, normal business they practice, and I think there's an ulterior motive.
Chris Dodd, what went into that decision? Because the MPAA made the decision that they couldn't use the title. What was a consideration that went into that decision?
It's almost 100 years old, what is called the Title Registration Bureau. It was established in 1925 to set up a mechanism for easy dispute resolution, where registers or subscribers, there are over between 300 and 400 individuals or studios are subscribers to the Title Registration Bureau. The Weinstein Company obviously is one of them. They've submitted titles like The King's Speech and The Artist and The Intouchables, to give examples. And it's designed to protect consumers, where they'll not be confused by titles, to protect authors, to make sure their title doesn't get duplicated. And when that happens, and I'm not familiar with the cases that my good friend Harvey cited, but that's where you go and you work this out between the companies. That's the role of the Registration Bureau, which was established, I said, in 1925. When you become a subscriber voluntarily, you're not forced to, it's entirely a voluntary system, you sign an agreement in which you say, I will abide by the rules. Now, the rules are in place. Now, you can argue about whether or not you like the rules or not. There's an appeals process. Go through that. There's no reason why this has to become a large issue such as it is.
Okay, let me bring in quickly, though, Harvey, David Boies, your attorney. David, the film is set to be released August 16th. I mean, the clock is ticking here. Now that the MPAA says you can't use that title, what are you going to do now?
Well, we're going to have to find a way to get this important civil rights movie out. One of the things you have to understand, I think there are really 3 points you have to understand. First, if this was to do, as my friend Chris Dodd says, to protect against confusion, there wouldn't be a problem here. There's no confusion. The 1916 was a silent, short subject. No one alive, virtually, has ever seen it, not on DVD, not on television. There is simply no chance for confusion. What's going on here is that they're using the power of the MPAA, which after all is an organization of all the major studios, to say we're going to restrict competition from this new film. And that's simply wrong. It would be fine if what the goal was what Chris says, which is to protect competition.
Warner Brothers says this in a statement to us. that the Weinstein Company is disregarding the MPAA's rules and following an off-trodden path of creating well-publicized controversies in order to promote their films by disseminating deliberate misinformation and the true nature of this dispute. They accuse the Weinstein brothers of breathtaking hypocrisy. Harvey, there are many that say this is typical Harvey Weinstein move, trying to drum up publicity. They could have settled it and they didn't. What do you say to what the Warner Brothers company is saying about you?
We did try to settle it. And, you can accuse, I went through this with Bully, and I've gone through this all my life. My dad taught me to fight injustice. This is unjust. This movie's coming out August 16th. I was asked by 2 executives at Warner Brothers, which I'm happy to testify, that if I gave them the rights back to The Hobbit, they would drop the claim. For a 1916 short, this was used as a bullying tactic.
So
and the
you're saying,
MPAA,
Harvey, this is about something else, really?
Oh, yeah, I think this is 100%. This was the big guy thinking they can hit the small guy. They didn't know that the small guy knows David Boyce pretty well.
Yeah,
and,
Floyd Abrams?
and David Boyce takes the small guy's side.
Floyd Abrams, is this about something else?
What it's really about is people keeping their word. The Weinstein Company agreed, signed a contract to participate in this system where movie titles would be protected. And part of that system is that companies can designate a certain amount of titles as protected. The Weinstein Company's done this. Why do you think the artist is protected? Well, why is the King's Speech, those words, protected? It's because they said, and they had every right to say it, no one else can use this title. Now, the system works by saying, if you can't agree, and apparently they haven't so far, you go to arbitration. They went to arbitration. They lost. They had a right to appeal. They are appealing. That's just what they should be doing. But the idea that this is some sort of effort to suppress a movie is just not true.
Harvey, you know the rules of this game, and you've played the game and you've lost. So why are you still fighting?
If we run ads with the Butler, the MPAA is $25,000 a day in penalties. We have to pull 5,000 trailers from the theaters. We have to pull our website down, all of which we complied with. We have to get rid of all advertising saying the Butler, and the movie's coming out August 16th. And 28 individual investors did it. What the hell do they need the title for, the Butler? They're not making a movie called The Butler. There's a 1916 silent movie. Come on, if you watch this as a movie, we would say this smells. I mean, where's the culprit at the end of this? And I appreciate.
But some could say, Harvey, you could just change the title too. They could say,
what
look,
should I call it? Something else.
Look, there's something
the
else
movie
that can
formerly
happen.
known as The Bee.
all right, Senator Dodd, you get in here, and then we've got to go.
Let me urge what I did last week, long before we got to this point. Sit down. Talk to each other. You've got great lawyers right here, well-known companies. They know each other well.
Yes.
Sit down and work it out. This is silly.
All right, Senator Dodd, you've had the last word. All we know is this: August 16th, something is going to be opening up. It's going to star Lee Daniels directing, Forrest Whitaker and Oprah Winfrey. Something, August 16th.
I'm looking forward to something.
To be continued.
Thanks to all of you.
Thanks, everybody. That was good.
Thanks.
How about I was the butler?